Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. Nick Wilson, Mickey Farmer, Clint Thompson, and David Murphree here on Season 5 of Talk or Go Home. This is the first time we've done a video podcast.
And probably the last.
And, well, if they see our faces and choose to go away, I wouldn't blame them at all. But welcome in. You know, this is going to be fun. And if it's not, well, we'll figure that out, I guess. But
well, it'll be fun for us. I don't know if it'll be fun for everybody else. But at least you can see all the little mannerisms that go on behind the scenes.
Yeah, that's true. So. And guess what, guys? We finally have Mickey Farmer on the podcast.
Hey, we do. And not a moment too soon, sir.
This is not the first time. We did another podcast, but it was of another... It was a failed podcast. It's one now that's no longer on the air.
No, it's there. You can listen to it, but
no,
y'all
you can't.
It discontinued.
You can't. It's off. It's done.
Is it?
It's done.
I thought I saw it the other day.
Oh, really?
Because I was subscribed to it.
Oh, okay. I need to take that down. I need to get rid of that.
So it was that bad, huh? We killed it.
Well,
it was.
I don't think it was bad. I mean,
No.
I enjoyed it whenever I listened to it, but it was the one episode.
Yeah, it was just the one episode. And
scheduling a podcast can be hard sometimes.
I was about to say, the scheduling aspect of it was really hard. I mean, the only reason we were able to schedule this one now is because it's still technically the holidays, and we're all kind of here.
Merry Christmas.
So, well, yeah,
Happy New Year.
all that good
We're
stuff.
in that lull in between, which is a fun time.
Yeah, we're off. We're not in school. You're off work.
I'm off
and
work.
You're semi-off work. And
Yeah,
we've
I'm just kind of
yeah.
hanging out and doing some work.
And we've got Aaron over there who can't speak. Say hey, Aaron. Hey.
Yeah,
Yep,
nobody
there's
heard
Aaron.
that. Nobody heard
Was that an episode or a podcast y'all talking about? I don't know anything about it.
Both.
It was
It was
an
both.
episode of a podcast.
Yeah, they
Okay.
was
Of
it
Talk or
third,
Go
third
Home?
and long?
Yeah, it was called Third and Long.
No, they
It was a
called it
sports
Third and Long
podcast.
Sports Podcast right before the national championship last year or the year
Yeah,
I
before.
believe so. No, it was
It's called
last year.
Third and Long. It's
Third and Long.
gone. Can't hear
It's
it.
gone.
Last year.
Yeah,
Now, I'm sure there's
they
another-
punted. They punted.
I'm sure there's I'm sure there's another podcast out there named Third and Long.
Possibly.
But I mean, it's
It's
Why would
hard
you
not
not?
to be. Yeah.
you know, why would you not name a podcast that? But
Well, I would name it Fourth and Monroe.
Fourth and Monroe, yeah,
Yeah, which Fourth and One.
Fourth and Monroe, because we're going for
We're
it.
going for it. Monroe it.
But yeah, so we've just got done celebrating Christmas. We're kind of getting into the new year. How was y'all's Christmas?
It's good. Not as stressful, but you know me, I still don't like holidays. So anyway.
Yeah, he's. We've talked about it before. Right? You're a Scrooge.
Ad nauseum, we have talked about it.
Yeah. So I text in the group.
Mickey looks like he wants to say something.
Well, I tried to. But
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, you asked us all how our Christmas was. So,
Yeah,
Well, I was
keep going.
leading into that.
It was the only thing I didn't like about it. I like if I could pick the day of the week Christmas would be on. It would probably be the same day every year.
It wouldn't be on a Saturday.
Well, the thing with Saturday is this: a lot of people get off work on Saturday anyway, so they get shortchanged with a Saturday Christmas, right?
Yeah.
And for those of us who are faithful to our church, we go to church on Sunday the next day. So really, Christmas was kind of short in a way.
Yeah.
It was bang bang boom.
Right.
Yeah.
I would like a
Wednesday.
Thursday Christmas.
Ah, okay.
How about a Thursday Christmas?
I like a Thursday Christmas.
Thanksgiving's on Thursday every year. Right?
Sure.
Yeah.
So we can move Christmas. to
Jesus,
Thursday.
you were born on a Thursday.
Not necessarily the 25th anymore.
That's
Yeah.
just not
Thursday.
really been established what day of the week, what time, or even what time of the year, as far as that goes.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
For certain.
for certain.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's
we
like
should be able
birthdays.
to
Like
move-
I can't stand like a Thursday birthday. Like that's a
Yeah.
bad day for a birthday, or Tuesday birthday.
Yeah.
It's just a bad day
But
for a
think about
birthday.
it, a Thursday Christmas. Most of the time, everybody's gonna get the rest of the week off.
Sure.
Right. So it's gonna be a big 4-day Christmas.
We'll see at work.
We had a 1-day Christmas.
See at work. We got off the 23rd on that Wednesday, and then you and I got together and went to watch a movie, and then I've been off, and I won't go back until the 4th of January. So
That's when is that when we go back? When do we go
Well,
back?
I wasn't invited to the movie.
Well, I don't know if
I
it's a
just found
movie
out
you would
about
have
that one.
enjoyed.
well, he did say, "Hey, do we need to invite David?" And I said, "I don't know if David will want to go to this movie, but
Look, he doesn't. I don't think Nick likes other people going to movies. He likes to focus.
So he can sit right in the middle.
He's like, I went to a movie with him one time, and he was like this.
He's focused in on it. I will say this as well. Being part of a broadcast team on the backside, I've grown to appreciate more the other parts of the movie, the inner workings of the movie, and
how it's put together.
Right.
Yeah.
And the writing of it, and how you go from this scene to this scene, and what it takes to act those scenes out. And I can see where he gets really, really into it. Like, not just the stories, like he's like taking everything.
Yeah, I wouldn't have gone. I wouldn't probably. Did y'all sit in the middle? You get your good seat?
So tell the story about what happened.
So
Clint bought the tickets.
I bought the tickets online because, hey, everybody's social distancing, whatever. That's the best thing to do. So I bought the tickets online, and I looked at the map of the theater, and I'm sitting there thinking, okay, well, this is the back of the theater. These seats are open. I'm going to get these seats. Well, it turns out the map of the theater was reversed, and I got the front row tickets. I mean, right on the front row.
Where you're looking at it like this.
Like, if you
like
want to read
staring up.
anything, you're going, how now, brown cow.
Hey, I don't want to
But we stole somebody else's seat, so everything was good.
Yeah, we did.
I don't want to put this thing any farther in the weeds than it already is, but maybe that doesn't matter.
No, it always happens. We always.
But you touched on a subject there. And Coach may know what we're talking about here. Well, us three have been involved, you more than anybody, in this video thing, okay?
Sure.
Yeah.
For as minute as that is compared to Hollywood, has it ruined watching movies a little bit?
Okay. That's
because you start diagnosing and
breaking down everything.
breaking down stuff, and you're not really paying attention to the movie. You're enjoying it because you're working through the movie.
I do the same thing with sports broadcast now.
Yeah,
too.
I mean, the same with a coach. If you're on sideline,
Yep.
can you watch a game and enjoy it?
Because I end up watching my position when I'm watching a football game.
Every single move and thing that's going on in the field.
Guard's pulling here.
Exactly.
He comes.
Yeah.
I know.
So
as if you're there coaching.
Right.
There are two things that you brought up there that he just also mentioned that I think, and I know he's done it too.
Well, I did mention something. Go ahead. I did mention something to my wife the other day when I was watching the game. Go ahead.
But it was like every time I watch a football game, I end up watching the offensive line.
Yeah. See, I did that the other day. I like watching the line, so I know where the ball's.
Exactly.
Most of the time, when they pull and stuff, where the ball's going. I catch myself watching them.
I watch the line, but like he said, because I've done this whole like media thing too, I end up watching I'm like, okay, the guy's microphone on his headset is on his right side, and so when he turns to his partner in the booth to his left, it covers his face. That's bad producing. Like that's not good on the producer. Like they did a bad job. It should be on his other side so that his face is to the camera. Like I notice stupid stuff like that. And
I'll be yelling at the TV, hey, next shot, next shot.
Yeah.
Go here. I can't see who you're talking to.
Exactly. Yeah. And I know Aaron has kind of said that he does the same thing. Like he'll watch stuff because he's our producer in training, and Jake the same way. Do you do that? I mean, you've been doing this for a while. Do you find yourself like watching the intricacies of a broadcast?
My pet peeve is audio more than video.
Really?
Yeah. Because you watch a lot of YouTube stuff.
Yeah.
And they won't have the lapel mic on.
Right.
Yeah.
Use a camera.
So it'll be very, very light over here, and then get
there's
really, really
echo.
close.
And I don't want to be critical here because you guys are involved with this particular other entity.
Oh, no, we're not.
When it first started, they had some issues.
Yeah.
And I think y'all have corrected some of that for them because you sound like you're way over there. You're not speaking into a microphone.
Right.
It's an echo. It's picking up, and those are annoying now that you know what's going on.
Oh, yeah.
That's really annoying.
Well, what really helps is to have a guy just monitor. That's literally what Aaron's doing right now. Aaron is off. Y'all can't see him or hear him, but he's got
thankfully
he's got headsets. He's got headsets on, and he's sitting over there watching
He's
us,
chuckling right now.
just monitoring our audio.
when he chuckles, his shoulder.
He's making sure we can
Hey,
hear
I
Murphree.
did mention to my wife the other day we were watching the game, and I did mention to her, and I knew she probably didn't know what I was talking about, but I said, well, that defensive lineman, he sure did recognize that screen awfully quick, didn't he? And I knew she probably didn't have any idea, because I was watching him, and I was just wondering to myself, did he feel that? Or was that from film work that he recognized something?
Probably
That's
a bit
what
of
I was
both.
thinking about.
Yeah,
I think that's typical of any profession.
Yeah.
Like I used to be in the timber business. I worked for a timber company. And for a long time, like a year later, I'm driving down the highway and I'm assessing timber. That's a pretty good track timber.
That's a good track.
Look at that plantation.
That's a good
right
tree.
there, that's worth such and such. And then my wife, who's a mail carrier, when we go off on trips, she'll start looking at mailboxes, the height of them.
Right.
Look at this right here. They're turned around backwards. The mail car's driving on it. All kind of things like that.
Yeah,
So whatever your gig is.
Welding. I used to do the same thing. Like we would come up behind trailers, and you just see the welds, and it's like, man, those welds look like hammered on dog crap. Like that looks bad.
Whatever your gig is, you reckon. Yeah.
Right.
A lot of people don't know that the referee wears the white hat.
Right.
A lot of people don't realize that. And I mentioned that one time, and I just
really?
It blew their mind.
That's kind of obvious though, because none of the other ones wear a white hat.
I could go for Christmas on Thursday too, and it was crazy around my house at Christmas.
All right, give me Christmas on Thursday every year. Leave the time alone, okay? And I'll think of a few more here.
Hey,
what was your?
It's busy, man.
Hold on, can
It's
I please?
busy.
Can I tell them about that text message?
All right, what did it say?
Okay.
I don't even remember.
So Christmas morning, we wake up, Mickey, and
We
I
did.
send
That's what we did.
I send a text message.
Yes, sir. We did.
I send a text message to these two, David Murphree and Clint Thompson, and I said, "Merry Christmas, guys." Because he has two twin little girls. How long have you been up? To Murphree specifically, and what does he say? Hold on, he's pulling it up. Since 5 a.m., I drove my bus route this morning just for fun.
So you drove it in your car, like you just drove it.
Well, I could have got on the bus and drove it. Yeah,
I feel like that would make an excellent video podcast.
I drove it
that'd
in
be
my
great.
car too.
Just
Yeah,
what we doing? Well, we're driving my bus route.
Tell the folks what kind of car you drive.
I got a lot of them.
Well, the one that you drove
Well,
here
I'm
today.
in right now. I'm in a '98 Ford Escort ZX2. It's got a smashed fender,
With what color?
blue, and I got a
what kind of blue?
'96 Hyundai 10th anniversary Accent, and it also has a smashed fender in the same place. I had a guy working on that one time. The mechanic, he backed into it. And then my other one, somebody ran over the front of it in the parking lot. I ain't got either one of them fixed. Yeah, but at Christmas at my house, we were talking about, I had the elves are there. They show up right after Thanksgiving, so they've been there. And they leave Christmas morning. And then Elijah was there. He was looking for Jesus. And then the elves, they do something crazy. Every night they painted my toenails one night. And then one night they put makeup on my face.
Wow. I'm lucky. We never had the elves come and visit our house, so
Yeah.
we got by with that one.
The elves weren't brave enough to make it down this far south when I was growing up.
Right.
Crazy, man. They do crazy stuff.
God, they painted. Why didn't you take a picture of yourself with the makeup on?
Well, I still can. I can. If you want me to. Send it out.
All right, so hold on. We've gotten way off track.
I don't even know where we
How
started.
was your Christmas? Well, you started asking how Christmas was.
Yeah.
So it was okay. Mickey said it was pretty decent. How was yours?
Oh, it was great. I ended up going
All right,
to
that's
4
good.
different places also.
David, how was yours?
Yeah, I love you too. Love you too.
No, continue.
Aaron, if I walk off, just cut my mic.
No, seriously, how was yours? 4 different places.
Yeah, it was. I actually spent some time at Mickey and them's. So I woke up, went to open presents with my family, did that, and then went and ate breakfast at some family friends' house and watched them open some presents, and we shot some guns and that kind of thing.
Roll Tide, Merry Christmas.
Foo got a .308,
Ah.
so Pookie got a revolver. I can't remember what.
I saw it in the picture.
Yeah, and then ate breakfast there, watched them open their presents that I got for them, and then dipped out, went over to Mickey and Pam's and hung out, opened up presents there, watched them open presents, and then I opened my presents from them, got some bed sheets.
Nice.
Bed sheets.
Offered him food. We
I
did a
was-
late breakfast.
It was
what
like,
we do on
I got there
Christmas
like
Day.
12, didn't I?
Yeah,
11:30.
We had just ate.
And then I went back to my house, took a shower, took a nap, and then ended up at the Beards, which are some other family friends, and ate a steak and called it
Well,
a
I
day.
saw the picture that your mom put on Facebook with you and Dirk Jr.
Dirk's
in
Jr. Yeah,
And with the joys of my life or something. I started to reply so sweet.
you
But
should play. I wish
didn't.
you would have.
I didn't know how everybody would take that, so I just didn't do it.
I wish you would have. Gosh, she'd have loved it. My mom thinks you are one of the funniest people ever.
She's a smart lady. She is.
By the way, yeah, none of y'all have mentioned my mustache. How is my
Is it
mustache?
I noticed it in that picture.
When we went to the movie theater, you know, somebody said, "Dude, that guy's got an epic." But like, I heard it and I turned around, and kind of looked at him, and I looked, and Nick didn't hear it as we were walking by, and I said, "Dude," he said, and I was going to tell him, and then of course the guy was right behind me and said, "Let's get out of here before I say it." So we got outside. I said, "Man, that guy was like really envious of your mustache." He's like, "Man, that's an epic mustache right there."
It made me feel so good about myself.
It did.
But see, I will never be as good as Mickey's goatee. Mickey's goatee is the best, some of the best facial hair I think I've ever seen.
It's been with me a long time.
What's a long time?
25 years, maybe.
So as long as I've been alive?
A couple of times. It's been a while, yeah.
As long as I've been 95.
It used to be dark and had red right here.
1995? 94?
Yeah,
95?
Yeah, probably 90.
96?
Or mid-90s. Yeah, late 90s.
You used to have a mustache at one point, did you not?
Yeah.
Just a mustache.
Yeah.
I remember that.
I did that for a while.
I remember that.
Used to do the beards, you know. Beards were a big deal. And they've kind of came and gone several times.
Yeah, it's kind of back now. I mean, there's a lot of people doing
We've got to
beard
post a
stuff
picture
now.
of you with your mustache.
Who are you looking at?
You. It's great. Have you seen him?
Mine
You've
looks
seen
like I
him with
have
a
the
mustache.
mange. Mine looks like I have the mange.
He cannot grow a mustache.
I can't grow anything.
You're kind of tiptoeing over what I thought we were going to talk about today.
Which is?
It's going to be, you mentioned the 70s. I've got some,
that was your heyday?
Mustache thing. Not really. Not really. It depends. I mean, it was.
No, but I want to talk about it.
There's, facial hair is a big part of the 70s. So, hang on if you're gonna bring that into this podcast.
Well, there were only, what year were you born?
84.
Okay, so there are only two of us here, 2 of the 5 that are in this room that were born and alive in the 70s.
That one wasn't born in the 19-anythings.
Yeah, that's true. He was. What year were you born, Aaron? 1763.
Wow, that puts you at over 200 years old.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
He's older than the United States.
Seriously, what year were you born? 2005.
2005. Gosh,
Your
dang.
baby. May's born in 2008, so.
That's ridiculous. Look at this mustache here and this cowboy hat.
Now that's the Mickey I remember right there.
Yeah.
There you go.
Can we
Yeah,
hold on?
that was actually hold on a minute. I don't know why.
Can we show that to the audience?
Anything I don't like about my phone, I blame on him because I think he knows. Well, he knows Tim Cook. So if
I don't
can
know
blame
Tim Cook.
anybody-
I've met Tim Cook multiple times.
Anything in the way of tech that gets on my nerves, automatically in my mind, it goes, it's Nick's fault.
It's Nick.
See, that's why I hate letting people know that you're somewhat technology savvy.
Yes.
Because anytime something goes wrong, you're the guy they go to.
Yeah, I come to you with all my tech problems. and I had a beard one time too.
Did you really?
That's
Yeah,
your
one time.
partner in crime right there when he was a baby.
Oh, man.
You know.
Who is that?
That's Brandon.
Brandon.
Farmer.
Brandon Farmer.
So, speaking of tech stuff, like Carrie and I,
Look at that man. Right
I
there.
know.
No, that's 80s anyway.
Carrie is really bad about, hey, I need to do
That's a
X,
man.
Y, or Z with my phone or technology, and I'll say, okay, let me see it. She says, no, I want to know how to do it. And like, I can't give verbal instructions on how to do a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I've gotta
without
show
having
you.
mine. Either I've got to show you or I've just got to do it. Like, I'm not good enough to say, okay, go to settings, then you go to general, and you go to this. And I can't do that.
You know who's really good about learning?
Students?
No,
Oh.
when it comes to that, like stuff like that.
Who's that? Really?
Yeah, he is. He doesn't give himself credit, but he is really good at like learn. Like he thinks he's a Luddite, but he's really good at like getting into the. You are like Power School. You got that down pat.
No, I would be the last person I would think would have that stuff down pat or anything with my phone. I always come to you with phone stuff.
You're not the.
I hate my
Paul
phone.
Hawk comes to me 10 times more than you do.
I hate my phone. I threw mine at church one time. I got so mad. I think I was just trying to do a video. I can't.
I didn't get into smartphones until the iPhone 5. Before that, it was flip phones.
Yeah.
Or the little Nokia.
The little blue bricks that were
Little
heat
tiny
takers.
bricks.
Yes, they were had snake on it.
Yep,
and
snake.
groovy
And
I remember
bowling.
snake.
Yep.
And bowling. I hung with that, and the reason is you know when these came out, the deals were not as lucrative.
Sure.
So in the Farmer family, post Brandon, I think
Right.
it started with somehow Alex got himself to the top of the heap, and he would get the first phone.
Right.
And then it might be
because he's the
Brooke,
baby.
and
Because
it'd be
he's the
it was
baby.
kind of a hand me
Exactly.
down,
Right.
all the way down, and
Here, Dad, take mine. I'm gonna get the brand
he
new
wants
one.
the new
Yep.
latest greatest.
Yeah.
We literally have a box full of his old phones.
Yeah.
Remember the ones that were like this, and they had the
You'd slide
keyboard,
up.
Yeah,
they had
that's-
the
yeah,
keyboard,
slide
and they
up, yeah.
slid. They had those.
Yeah, Caitlin had one of those. We called it Reba, and it was a heat taker because it got to the point it wouldn't work, so we would throw it against the wall and it'd start working.
Well, I
I don't
saved
know
cell
why
phone.
Reba.
Reba?
Yeah, I don't know why Reba. It was a phone name.
I
We just
usually
gave it-
don't. I'm not real early to the technology
Yeah.
game.
I was big into Droid before I got my current job, and then the company started supplying us phones, so I ended up with an iPhone, and I don't think I'd do anything different now.
and this is a iPhone 7. That's how far behind. I'm about to step up though.
Are you? You've
I've
said that
got-
for like a year and a half.
Well, I mean.
Well, here's
I'm
the
very-
thing. Here's the thing. Once you get anything above a 7, there's no more button. I don't know if you're ready
I
for
know.
all that.
See, I like that
He likes the
fake.
button.
It's a fake button.
Oh, you got the fake button?
Well,
Yes,
I mean,
it doesn't actually depress.
It doesn't depress. It feels like it depresses.
Oh, okay.
It just vibrates when you press
yeah.
it.
But see, now they don't have any buttons.
I have 2 7s because I gained another hand me down, so I can
He
use
uses
one in
two
my
f-
work
yeah.
and one for
I
personal.
gotcha.
But I want the 13 with the 1 TB.
The 1 terabyte.
Yes.
Golly.
I got a
That's a
12.
lot.
I was a big deal around here for.
Wait,
about
you have a
2 weeks.
12?
Yeah, I was a big deal here for.
Do you have your phone?
Yeah, I think so.
Where?
Somewhere.
I think I got an 11.
Don't I have a 12? I don't know anything.
Hey, are you a
about it.
Cowboys fan or do you
Yeah,
root for the
I think so. I
Buccaneers?
didn't overdo it, did I? Hey, isn't that a 12?
Are you a Cowboys fan?
Yeah.
Okay, I couldn't tell.
Yeah.
That's another thing that bugs me is I had the flip phone,
Right.
but way too late, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
yet I'm the same guy that didn't have a house phone when he got married. But I had a cell phone years later, but people were making fun of me because why?
Because you,
I'm
you
so
didn't have.
outdated.
Yeah.
But you can be outdated on these like in a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
It-
It's almost like a computer. As soon as you buy a computer, you're already outdated. It seems like.
Yeah.
Apple baits their hook well.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Well,
I mean, there's a new version every year, literally, or almost.
but
every
is it
year.
worth the upgrade?
I don't know.
I feel like a lot of it's become marketing. Now there are some he's got a 7, so anything past the 10,
7
yeah,
plus.
he needs to. Yeah.
Plus
Okay, I'm
Plus
sorry.
Now, come on.
Plus, it
7
has to do with size. I mean, what?
But well, let's not. Yeah, we're not targeting anybody specifically.
Okay.
I made Aaron laugh.
I've got one. Okay, I got the 7 plus. Now what?
So I would get the newest because anything after the 10, you're good for. You know, the 12's going to be good for you. The 13, the 11.
But I want the 1 TB.
You want the newest, which is you want the 1 terabyte of storage.
Why
which
do
is
you need
the
1
newest.
terabyte of storage?
Because
He takes so many.
I do
Does
in
he?
my business. I know they can't see
okay.
this. But if I go inspect a machine,
Sure.
50 to 100 pictures per
Okay.
inspection, could do 10 a week, so 1,000 pictures a week.
Sure.
And it starts to stack
And
up, and I
he
don't like
videos-
deleting them.
At the drop of a hat, he will video something at the drop of a hat.
Yeah.
Okay. I
Well,
get that, but that still seems like a lot
Yeah.
because it jumps from 256 to 1 terabyte, doesn't it? There's not in between.
No, I think there's a 512. 22,352.
Pictures.
I bet I don't have 1,000. on mine.
1142 videos.
1,142 videos. 1,615 live photos.
Which is part of this number, too,
Yeah,
right?
part of the 22,000.
So, some of that's business, some of
I
it's
don't even know
personal.
how many I have.
I don't have a lot.
But there's a lot of Asheville stuff on there. I mean,
See, I only
You
have
remember-
7,500.
I don't even
wanna-
have that many.
Since we've got this, I've
I don't
got
have
this phone,
500.
and let's say there's something happening up here on the football field, and I want to capture it. I mean, I want to be ready to go.
Sure.
I wanna
Yeah.
be-
Well, that makes sense.
Well, we've gotten to the point where, I mean, the cameras on our phones are good enough to
To do
I know, I
anything.
don't
to do
know.
anything.
If I'm really gaining a lot by using that Panasonic, I have a Panasonic
X.
HCX-1000.
Yeah.
Right.
I
It's
think
a
that's
4K camcorder. It has a lot of features on it. But
I think it's basically obsolete now.
if I want to shoot, well, okay, it's still 4K.
Yeah.
And we can't I agree with you to a point, but we can't broadcast in 4K, can we?
Yes.
But everybody watching can't view it in.
It won't be on you. It won't be on Facebook.
4K is not fully implemented yet, right?
Not across all platforms.
There's still a lot of gaps.
I think you can stream on Twitch in 4K. I'm not 100% on that.
You can.
Yeah.
But my question is, or my statement is, I could still take this phone or the 13 or whatever that's got 4K on it, go ahead and shoot Brandon Jr.'s basketball game, and come up with a pretty good quality versus the big camcorder.
Yeah.
Yeah, with all the editing and extraction and editing.
No SD card to deal with.
Right.
Yeah. That makes sense. You've got 2 little girls. Do y'all film everything that they do on your phone?
I think my wife filmed the whole Christmas play the other day. Her phone.
On the whole thing?
Yeah.
How long was it?
20 minutes, I guess.
That took up some storage.
Yeah.
And you may appreciate this. There was a time when I was shooting football from the sideline, and I had the HCX camera right here, and I had the phone right here.
I remember you
doing that.
When I knew
there was a touchdown play coming. That way I could go to Facebook. I could post that thing immediately right off the phone.
And then, but you still
had that's hard to do.
Yeah, it is. I filmed my kid's birth that way. With a phone and a camera, it is hard.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to.
And I wasn't even supposed to be filming in there. I was afraid I was going to get thrown out.
What?
I got tagged by the fire department.
I just want to be sure I got it, man.
We all make mistakes.
It was terrible, too.
Live birth, live video, right?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Are you hiding this?
What? Hold on. Is that real?
Yeah, I had my phone in there filming, and I had a regular camera with a card in there. I didn't want to miss it, man. But it's hard to film too. And I wasn't even supposed to be filming. They told me not to film. I said, "Well, heck, I thought to myself, I'm filming this with 2 cameras."
2 cameras, 2 kids.
Yeah,
twins.
Yeah.
What did your wife say about this?
Well, she didn't say anything. She wasn't saying nothing.
What could she say?
Nah, she wasn't.
You lay there and push some babies out.
She ain't going anywhere.
She ain't going.
No,
well, not right away anyway.
No, they weren't. She wasn't pushing nothing. They was
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, I did that.
I mean, she was pushing.
I don't think so. It was.
Okay. Yeah. Woo. Hey, this is.
But it is difficult to do.
Our first
I
and
know,
only video podcast.
Well, it's a difficult thing to do, I know, because I've tried it before. You were doing football, I was doing.
Well, I was actually filming the babies 17 years later.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's difficult. But I got it, though.
Hey, in case you want to change the subject, the dumpsters are set up at the fire station in Asheville.
The dumpsters?
Yeah, if y'all got any extra garbage to haul.
The dumpsters are set up.
I got prompted on that.
You got a notification.
Might put
I guess you could have a dumpster fire there. I guess.
Yeah, you could.
They could just run out there and put it out.
Yeah,
right there.
They put it out.
Yeah, you got reprimanded.
Public
didn't you?
service announcement.
You got reprimanded by the fire department, or nearly
yeah,
reprimanded.
kind of. It's not worth this. I mean, I'm just saying that I had a brush with the law this morning, slightly.
A slight brush.
They want to make sure I wasn't burning tires. Well, I was.
Well, you can't do anything. They were there when you.
I thought you were supposed to do that at night.
You're right, Coach. That is, and that's what.
Well, here's the thing.
Can y'all edit this out?
No, this is gonna be.
Why is it so hard to get rid of garbage? Huh?
The
one thing.
You talking about 70's? There was probably no garbage pickup around here.
Well,
I know we didn't have it in
I'll
the
touch
70's.
on that. The 70's was.
We dug a hole. And this is
We're
the
going to talk about
90s.
the 70's today. We're halfway through.
Well, I mean, let's talk about 70s.
But
let's talk about the glory
I'm
of
just-
the leisure suit.
Before you get there,
Blue leisure suit.
no littering, no this, no
Beastly
that.
bulging man.
Yeah.
But yet it's so hard to get rid of trash sometimes. First of all, we can't get trash companies to run on time here in Asheville.
No.
For one thing.
No.
They're either a day late.
Let us know if that happens everywhere else.
They show up
because-
either at the break of dawn or after dawn.
9 p.m.
Clint and I live in rural areas. We have other ways of dealing with trash.
Yeah, well, years ago, everybody just had a dump on your property.
There was a dump between my
The road that
and
goes
Clint.
across. Yeah. Everybody used to throw their trash out there.
Yeah, there was
I
no
mean,
policing it.
You
So,
hear Alan Jackson say Pigpen Road. That's basically what that was.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there was there pickup in the city limits in the 70s? Because I know in the rural area there was no garbage pickup till when? Probably late 70s, 80s.
Sometime in the city. You know, we had a dump up on the hill here.
This is so fascinating.
The city dump. The city had a dump up on. If you go right, I don't know how'd we get here. But,
The 70s.
like the people out there want to know where the dumps were in the 70s. We had one. To answer your question, I think there was a city pickup established sometime in the 70s.
Yeah, we didn't have pickup.
Before that, I think, you know, for the most part, it was kind of like we did out in the country. You burned your trash, what would burn.
Yeah.
And then you separated and you put the cans on.
Right.
And about once a month, you haul them over there between me and Clint's place and throw them out on a pile.
Yep.
Well, what are you supposed to do?
I know people that still do that live on multiple, you know, when I say multiple acres, a lot of us around here live on 10, 15 acres, but I'm talking like 100 acres. They got a hole in the ground.
Yeah,
we still.
I mean, we had a hole. Everybody had a hole.
Right.
I got a hole now.
Mama's got a hole, yeah.
Oh, no.
You good?
Oh, Aaron. He laughed.
Are you good in math? I got to ask this question. Are you good in math?
I consider myself used to be.
How much dirt is in a hole 3 foot by 3 foot by 6 foot deep? That's all I want to know.
Like, weight?
How much dirt's in the hole that by those dimensions? 3 by 3 by 6.
Oh, this is.
I don't know.
I
Probably.
forget it. There's no dirt in the hole. Okay, it's a hole. All right. Move on.
I quit.
Don't leave me now. Got the 70s coming up, you know.
Yeah. So tell us what the 70s were like in your experience. You were young, right?
Yeah, I was young in the 70s.
How young were you?
Well, I was born in
There's another answer to
71.
that question.
Okay, so you lived for most of the 70s, but what
Yeah, I lived
about
for most of them, yeah.
what's the first thing you remember about the 70s?
Just come back. Let me think about it.
Okay, what's the first thing you remember about the 70s? Because his conversation will probably prompt your memory.
Let me set this up in my own little way here, because when you
love the 70s.
You're asking me, and I know you're asking my opinions. I think there could be multiple opinions of the 70s as a decade, depending on what age you were when they were happening. Because you're asking me, I started third grade in '69, so that meant I was in the third grade when 1970 rolled around, January 1. I was third grader here at Asheville. I graduated before the end of the 70s, in May 18th of '79. So you talk about a diverse decade of things happening.
For you personally as well.
Yeah.
I mean, because you came in your own, you grew up, you hit your adolescence, and you graduated.
Yeah. But I mean, not only that, but just, okay, we were still in Vietnam at the beginning of the 70s.
Right.
So I got to see us exit that.
Mm-hmm.
I got to see, now we're talking about the political stuff right out of the gate here. I saw the President Nixon
Resignation.
the resignation,
I'm not a crook.
the impeachment, the
Right.
resignation. I'm not a
Watergate.
crook. The whole Watergate thing, go through that.
Disco.
Yeah, that's the music side of it, and that wasn't the whole. You shouldn't think that's the whole '70s, because it wasn't. That was about the
But I feel like
mid-'70s.
that's the reason I say that is we all know that there was more that went on in the 70s other than disco, but a lot of people, when they think 70s, that's the first thing that pops into their mind is disco, the bell bottoms.
Now, I don't remember the disco. I don't remember Vietnam. I guess I was a big football fan. I remember the end of the Staubach era and the beginning of the Danny White era, that type of stuff, and how big the Steelers and Cowboys and all that was. And I do remember the basketball team in here.
At Asheville, we had a good basketball team
late
here.
70s, that was a 79 team that's pictured. I do remember coming up here in the 70s and couldn't get in the gym.
Yeah.
Those days. And I do remember that team. I remember listening. Was that the semifinals that they played and got beat? And
St. Jude?
Now, I remember listening to that on the radio.
Not the hospital.
And I listened to that game on the radio, and I remember they kept calling the team that they played King's team. And
I think it was the East Limestone.
Who was King? Who was he? Who would have been King?
I have no
King's
idea.
team. Was he a player?
East
He was a player
Limestone
on that
was
team.
the team
I
I
don't
think that beat them in the semis.
Oh,
St. Jude was the 73.
Oh, the 73
Skip
team.
Shaw
Okay.
team, yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember how big football fan I was, and I remember that. watching the Steelers and Cowboys and all that, and the basketball team. But I don't remember the end of Vietnam and Nixon. Now, I do remember one political thing that I do remember would have been the Iran hostage crisis. I remember when that was going on.
At the end of Jimmy
That would have been
Carter's-
79.
Yeah.
Right there.
I had registered for the draft as a result of that.
Yeah.
That was still going on.
Was it still called the draft at that point, or had it been
No, it
changed to the
was still
selective service? Because I had to
Well-
register with the selective service.
Same.
'Cause yeah.
Well, you still do. Everybody still does.
It's still,
Right.
Okay.
And I think
But
there's
there was a
they
change in
changed
the
the
name.
name.
Yeah.
And I think
Yeah.
there's a law in Congress right now that they're thinking about females are going to have. If it passes, females would have to register too. For the draft.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Right,
Yeah, that's right.
going on right now.
Because you can't go to college at a public institution in the United States and be eligible for FAFSA without registering
Right.
for the selective service.
Yeah, I remember the hostage, and I remember when Reagan was elected. And then, of course, I remember all my school teachers. Of course, I didn't have to go to kindergarten. I remember first grade. I remember all of them. Pretty good.
Did you wear a leisure suit to school?
Winter twos, the Sears catalog. I guess I had tough-skin pants, and I always got a new pair of winter 2 shoes from Sears. That's what it was.
Good
Yeah,
old
I had
Sears
two
catalog.
leisure suits. They were a big deal. That's the thing. That's what I'm going back to the mustache and the beards and all that. At least in the 70s, when we launched something, I mean, buddy, it was on. Now I don't see that anymore. Where is that?
I think there's so much competition now.
Well, everything's trendy. Like it's
Yeah.
a trend for a little bit, and then something else is trendy.
Okay,
and
we
things are
had.
just changing.
You can't see it now, but we wore our hair. What now is termed as angel wing, parted down the middle. You know,
that's
blow
back in style.
dryers. Blow dryers came in style. You didn't have blow dryers at the beginning of the 70s. By the end of the 70s, it was all the go. You had blow dryers and curling irons. Okay.
Aquanet.
Hairstyles. I mean, it was all in. Go pull a yearbook right back there from the 70s and look at the hairstyles of the guys.
Yeah.
Longer hair, down the middle. For the most part, there was exceptions. A lot of daddies wouldn't let their boys wear long hair.
I don't have one from the
I mean,
70s.
it wasn't allowed. But mainstream, the clothing, you had, like you said, the bell bottoms. Not just that, the nylon shirts with collars. I mean, the point part of this collar would come down to here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
And
big
why was it that
collared.
way? So you could put a jacket on. You could pull this collar up like this, put that jacket on, and pull that collar outside. You know,
I
let it be on
I
the-
did have one
Oh,
of those
yeah.
suits at the end of the
And
set. I had my
gold
bow
chain.
duke hair and had a
Yeah.
denim vest and jeans. That was my Easter suit, white shirt.
Yeah, Dukes of Hazzard would have really epitomized the South at the end of the 70s,
But I don't.
right?
Was that at the end of that? Seems
What?
more like 80s to me.
80s.
The Dukes.
Early 80s
Yeah.
was, if
Now-
you're talking about the perms.
Now, my
that was-
TV show was moving on. That was I watched. I think that was 76, 77.
Yep.
For 2 seasons. That was my favorite show. And
That's
it
right.
had a moving on shirt and everything.
That was Claude Aiken.
Yeah, Claw.
Yeah. Trucking show.
Yeah, trucking
No,
show.
I've
yeah.
never
I was
heard
about
of
to
it
ask you
at
the same
Well,
thing.
Merle Haggard sang the
I
theme
thought you were
song.
going to say moving on up, and it's like,
No.
oh,
Yeah.
Jefferson's.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I was
Yeah.
Big
trucking
Wheels
show.
Roll. You've
Yeah.
heard that song. I played it on song. I used it as a
Yeah.
background for something.
Yeah, moving on.
Okay.
Merle Haggard.
Bubba. What's that?
Bubba's
Bubba's Truck Shop. Help me.
Oh, J&B Services.
Jamie Services.
Yeah.
That's the theme song.
Not a sponsor.
Okay. That's the theme song.
The
that I
underbed
use-
music of that commercial
I
is the
used the knockoff version of it so we wouldn't get in trouble with copyrights
FCC.
of the theme
Yeah,
song.
moving on.
to
That's Merle
Moving On.
Haggard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Big
And that-
Wheels Rolling.
And that's hard to find on iTunes. I
I know.
can't find that on
Well, I
iTunes.
found the knockoff version and put it on that. I told her I was trying to match bed music to the commercials that
Yeah.
made a little. So Bubba works on big trucks. Got to keep them wheels rolling. You know, you ain't making any money. So we use that.
Yeah.
That's it.
And trucking too, that was huge in the 70s. It was a lot different then than what it is.
Convoy.
CB
Yeah,
radios.
Yeah. I can get mine put in over Christmas before we go back. Yeah.
So you had the CB radio craze came into play. Used to truckers were on one had the CB. Then the general public went wild over it and become a thing because of that song. Because of that song you're singing.
Breaker.
C.W. McCall, which
Smoking the Bandit too, you had all that.
Yeah,
we had
was
CB,
Moving on.
CB in the car.
Look, y'all go back and listen
BJ
to
and the
our
Bear,
Smoking
another
the
I
Bandit
trucking
guess
episode
show.
that came,
Last
yeah,
season.
that came at the end of the 70s.
from season 4, Smoking the Bandit.
Yeah.
So watch along. It's a long episode. Just keep that in mind.
It was romantic. It was just like it was real romantic then. It was the end thing. Trucking back in the 70s, early 80s.
Cool. We could use some of that right about now.
Yeah.
I don't know why that wouldn't sell today. I mean, it was a you can't snag
Because it's a
lightning in bottle,
stereotype.
Yeah,
it's a
it's-
Southern stereotype now.
You know, it's become the trends, the winds of trends have shifted away from that hard-nosed, hard-working, blue-collar vibe.
To what?
To
Go ahead, finish that.
help
To
me out
living
here.
in mama's basement, right?
Well, to the more
No, you're talking about movies. Like when you look at movies, I mean, outside of superhero movies, I mean, everybody that's got a job's got some sort of white collar job now. Most everything now is a white collar. Nobody really, the movies and stuff don't have the blue collar jobs. But in your defense, and even Mr. Wilson here has on a shirt, you still got the blue collar jobs of
Not a sponsor.
the ranchers and stuff of like Yellowstone. Yellowstone's a big, huge show right now.
it's one of the
that
top
comes
shows in the
on.
United States.
100%,
watched
and
it last
it's a
night.
lot of blue collar work. Now there's some other stuff that goes on in there too. That I don't know. Would you consider a cop a blue collar job? It's not really white collar. It's not really blue collar.
I would consider it. I would consider being a cop a blue collar job. If you're a street cop, if you're like a lieutenant or a captain or a chief,
a desk cop.
yeah, that's kind of white collar. But like a street,
Anyway.
if you've got a beat, absolutely,
Yeah.
it's a blue collar job.
Okay.
Well, trucking's changed too. Let's be real
Yeah,
about
trucking
it.
has
If you see go hang out at the truck stop and steal, and watch some of the guys getting out of the trucks driving. They're not C.W. McCall. They're not Claude Akins, or they're not Burt Reynolds. They're
easy.
I better stop right
Easy.
That's why it's so
there.
exciting.
They're
It's
different.
not break 19 anymore.
No.
It's they got a headset on, and they're
Every one
on
of
the
them.
cell phone. They're linked into this,
the entire
talking
time. The
to
entire
their friends while they're sitting up there driving. It's not.
Yeah, that's why it's so exciting to see Mickey Farmer on the interstate.
Yeah,
They're
he
the
didn't. I don't
last
think
of
he
the
listened to
independent
that.
truckers, man.
I don't think he listened to that
And
episode.
even I'm sort of.
Did you listen to that episode?
I'm sure I did. I mean,
In the first
I'm
like
on every
5
one,
minutes
right?
of the episode,
Mhm.
he mentioned that it was a Saturday
Yeah, Saturday
over by
morning, too.
Deerfoot going towards Birmingham. He passed you in your truck. You were hauling something.
okay. Yeah,
and he
I'm-
said, "What did you say to your kids?"
I told him that's Mickey Farmer, great American hero. There, you know what I said?
Yeah.
He called you a
But I
great
wanna-
American hero.
Well, I appreciate that, but my trucking days are beginning to wind down a little bit. We're not as active. I'm an inspector now, so I still do a little trucking, just a little bit.
Were you doing it that morning?
Yeah,
Hauling
yeah,
and ready
I,
to go.
I did it. I mean, I went to Selma for 25 straight years hauling bush hogs. Somewhere between 1,500 and 2,000 trips from Asheville to Selma to back.
Golly.
It's
I
a
know,
lot
but
of-
it was
it's a
a
lot of
lifestyle, and it was. You think, what could be so exciting about a trip? It's not that it's, you get locked into whatever you do, and you have kind of withdrawals when it comes to an end. Just like people talking about retiring, you know. And
Yeah.
you're talking to
Yeah.
a friend of ours that retiring, and
That just retired.
you know, it's a change. Another guy walked up after you left. I mean, he's like, man, I didn't know what to do once I retired. So I'm not retired. I just changed jobs. I changed. I
Professions.
shifted a little
Yeah.
bit, yeah, because there was a lot of change. Just like every other thing, there's some big changes coming in the trucking industry. They're highly regulated.
Mm-hmm. Highly electronic now. I mean,
Highly
The
electronic.
logs are electronic. The sleeping stuff. The
Yeah, I'm sort of
geotrack
anti
now is all-
that anyway, especially when you're not even leaving.
Yeah.
I'm not even 2 hours from home. I'm
Right.
on electronic logs. That really is not.
Right.
I'm not into that.
I got you.
But yeah, trucking was a big part of the 70s. It's been a big part of everything, but it was well represented in TV and movies.
Off camera, Nick blew his nose and he threw the Kleenex away and it missed a garbage can. And he looked at one of the other.
I looked at one of the
producers,
interns.
and he said, "Hey, pick that. You know what? Never mind.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I can't ask him to pick that up. Ooh. Sorry, Jake.
So what else are we going to say about the 70s? Because it's you can never stop talking about the 70s.
So
It's so full of happenings, like protest, Kent State,
Yeah.
the Vietnam, getting that thing wound down. It sort of just went away.
I mean, the space race I know is more of a '60s thing, but was it not? Was it
It
winding
went on
down
in
in
the-
the? It went on in the
it went on into the
70s,
70s.
right? And in the early part of
I
the
think
80s.
it peaked.
yeah.
It peaked with man setting foot on the moon in
Right.
'69, which
Yeah.
was really, really close to 70.
Right.
That's what I try to tell everyone.
Cold
that
War.
asks
You
me
haven't
about the
mentioned
70s.
anything about the Cold War, really. I mean, that's Still kind of
That's still
up.
80s, I think.
Well, in the 70s, it kind of toned down because Brezhnev came in with the Soviet.
But I mean, it
right?
ended like
Well,
what year?
you still had the Russians in Afghanistan. You know, we were sending
right.
weapons over there to actually
To the
Osama bin
Mujahideen.
Laden.
Yeah.
Well, they were using those weapons.
No, we weren't.
fight-
We would never do such a thing.
Yeah, they were actually
Charlie
fighting.
Wilson, right?
Was that
Senator
what that's
Charlie
about?
Wilson?
Yeah, I mean that was still going
Charlie
on.
Wilson's
Yeah,
one?
they were getting those weapons fighting the Russians. You know, Osama was there. Was that 73?
I think so. I think it was early to mid 70s.
When was Kent State? What year was that? Was that 73,
70.
74?
Was it 70?
Yeah.
You know, because Saban, you know, Coach
Saban
Saban,
was
he
there.
was there when
He
that
was there the
happened.
day it happened.
Him and a
Yeah.
buddy, he as a player, was eating in the cafeteria, I think, when that
Well,
happened. Shots happened.
they filmed the movie of that in Gadsden.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
Yeah.
Part of Gadsden State Community College.
That's
part
right.
of that? Yeah.
That's right. That was turned into Kent State. But not only that, the styles. Go back to the styles. Now you pulled out Leisure Suit. Before that, even in the 70s, I think Coach was talking about those blue jeans you used to get. Now, what kind were they?
I think they were tough skin.
Tough skins, okay.
My shoes, I know the shoes were winter twos. You got those from Sears. I got a new pair of those every year.
We had
Coach
Dingle Boots. Does anybody remember that?
Dingo.
I remember Dingo.
They had the little
I've
straps
heard
on the
of.
side with a brass ring.
Yeah.
You know, and square-toed. Most of them were square-toed Dingle Boots. Kind of a motorcycle rider
Right.
type boot. CPO jackets.
Mm-mm.
You may not
Three
remember those.
CPO?
No, just CPO.
Oh.
Just CPO. And I don't remember what that stands for. You have to
Well,
Google that up on one of these things here.
Well-
But they were kind of fuzzy feeling plaid looking jackets. It just kind of were the style for a while.
What about Star Wars?
Well, you're looking at the guy that's never seen the movie.
Me either. I hadn't
Whoa.
seen it either. I hadn't seen it
See,
either.
that doesn't surprise me, though. That does not surprise me at all.
Why?
And don't want to.
But because their personalities don't strike me as
Yeah.
the kind of person
Yeah, I
that
can see
that would have
that.
watched. Even though they were there in that time period, they don't strike me as the type of person that would have watched something like that back then.
Texas
Neither one of
Chainsaw
them.
Massacre. I still want to watch that. I still want to watch. And I couldn't find. I was looking for something on Netflix the other day. That John Candy movie I sent y'all.
The one that
Who's
you
Harry
told us about.
Crumb? I can't find that. I can't find that.
If you can find that movie somewhere, let us know. Who's Harry Crumb? John Candy.
Find that on there. What about who'd you listen to in the 70s, music wise?
Music wise. Okay.
Poco would have been Poco. Were they
Yeah,
around
they were
listening?
late 70s.
Poco.
Yeah. If you gonna go back to the very beginning?
Yeah, who was the
Because-
most
okay,
listened to?
Okay, here's the way it went down. I listened, as most people, what your parents listen to. Nick's told me that's why he's an 80s fan, because that's all he heard growing up
Yeah.
in the house.
Yeah.
So he heard
Yeah.
Eagles and
Well,
Fleetwood
you know, I
Mac.
heard a lot of 70s music. Fleetwood Mac,
Fleetwood Mac.
Eagles, but also a lot of that, post-Eagles Don Henley and Joe Walsh. A lot of 80s, like any song that had some serious saxophone solos, I heard, enjoyed,
Okay. My mother and parents were country music fans, so I heard a lot of the Charlie Pride, the Merle Haggard.
Yeah.
We would go to the concerts.
Mm-hmm.
There was a time in Birmingham at Boutwell Auditorium, that was
Yeah.
the main venue for concerts in Birmingham. So you had a big country radio station that would promote these things. You had WVOK over here that did the pop music, and they were the ones that brought in all the British acts and all. And then the country station over here was bringing in Merle Haggard, Charlie Pride, even Jerry Lee Lewis was into the country scene at
Sure.
that time. You would have this stack of big names would come to Birmingham for one ticket. You got to see, and they would do like 3 or 4 songs, and then they're off, and they just run them in and out,
Right.
off stage. I actually met Merle Haggard outside of Boutwell that night.
From California.
Yeah, that's right.
Bakersfield
area.
California?
Yeah, he was in the Bakersfield
Not
sound.
even from the South.
No, he was part of the Bakersfield sound with Buck Owens and
Yep.
Some of the other ones out there that had their own competitive sound against what was going on in Nashville at that time.
Mm.
So we heard that. So the early 70s would have been country for me. My parents listened to it. They bought them a Teledyne Packard Bell 8-track stereo tape player, and they put it in the bedroom. They had one speaker on one side of the bedroom, and they popped those 8 tracks in. They played all night, and we could hear them all over the house. So we heard Charlie McCoy, we heard Charlie Pride, all the Charlies, okay, all the Charlie country singers. And what was the one did? Most Beautiful Girl in the World, heard that one a lot.
Yeah.
I can't think of his
Did you ever
name.
listen to any Keith Whitley? Even though that was kind of like
Yeah,
later.
that was way on down the road.
Yeah, that was later.
Keith Whitley was a bluegrass guy.
Yeah.
That became,
passed
a, country,
away
that became a
early.
country singer. It
Yeah.
was partnered. He played with the Ricky Skaggs on that. I hadn't got to that in the 70s. That didn't exist. But along came 74, and I had a motorcycle. And the only place to get parts for that motorcycle was Yamaha. Was in East Gadsden at a motorcycle shop. And I'm in there in that motorcycle shop, standing behind the counter, and the radio is playing for the first time to my ears, Sweet Home Alabama by Leonard
Skinner.
So that was the beginning of my like for that kind of music. I love Southern rock. The most iconic intro guitar lick, in my opinion, ever.
Charlie Rich was Most Beautiful.
Charlie Rich. I'm sorry about that. Charlie, apologies. Please accept my apologies.
Rich.
I did buy the 45.
Him and Willie did a lot of stuff together, didn't they?
Not that I know of.
Who did Willie?
Waylon Jennings.
No. Later on, they did some stuff, didn't they? Charlie Rich.
Well, he maybe. I mean, all of them kind of, at one time or another.
Yeah.
That was the deal back then. Let's pair
Collaborating.
these two and make an
Maybe
album
later
together.
on.
Yeah.
Maybe later on.
Highwayman.
I love
That's not.
it.
No,
Willie
that ain't-
Nelson
that's
One of
not
my
Highwaymen.
favorite country groups, the Highwaymen.
You had that was 4 guys, and then you had Willie Nelson and Ray Price.
Oh, that's
they
who
hooked-
I'm thinking of.
yeah,
I'm
you
thinking
got
about
Ray
Ray
Price.
Price.
They
not
hooked
Charlie
up
Rich,
for an album
Never
or
Rich.
two.
What about Debbie Boone? When did she come in there? Was she 70, late 70s?
Late 70s.
Okay,
you
because
light up my life.
Yeah, because that's all my sister wanted for Christmas.
Yeah.
I do remember this, 70s. And so she got that 45 for Christmas. You light up my
That-
life. And it was sitting on the couch, and I sat on it and broke it. Christmas morning.
Well, thank goodness today you can MP3 it.
Yeah.
You can't sit on it and break
That
it.
was
unless
bad
you sit on
morning
your
for
phone.
Yeah.
I got a backhoe. Nothing happened to my backhoe. Probably in football.
I bet she'd like to
A toy backhoe.
smash that
Yeah, but
backhoe.
she was holding her smashed up Debbie Boone 45.
That was a one-hit wonder. I don't think she ever had another hit, did she? That was a one
Well,
Debbie Boone hit.
It was a smash hit at our
Smash
house.
hit.
Christmas morning.
Oh,
So she's just that one, you think? Is that,
I think so.
That's all I remember.
so you had the Leonard Skinner
I wonder what was on the other side of that. You like my life. What was on
part
The
2. I don't know.
instrumental. One side's
We'll
the
never
instrumental.
know.
The B-side.
Yeah, we'll never
there
know.
were some, and I cannot reel these off too, but there was a few B-sides that made a bigger hit than
Okay, well, I
that.
guess
Yeah.
we just took it up in the woods after that and threw it in the trash pile.
Burned it.
Burned it.
I loved all the Southern rock guys, the Marshall Tucker Band, the
Now, I just saw
see
them.
that's something to me that's kind of because
Blackfoot.
like Nick was saying, everybody really remembers the disco era
Right.
of the 70s. But one thing, and it's not really around that much anymore, is that Southern rock.
Yes.
Your Skinners, your
Well, Is was pretty close.
Georgia
now.
Satellites, your
Jason Is was pretty
Mountain,
close.
and, well,
That's when
Well, you know
singing.
what happened to it?
it became rock
country.
Well, yeah, that's true.
It either went to rock or to country.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
if you go back and listen to some of Skinner's music, not all of it, but they had a very big blues infusion into it. But now it would be considered more country than it would be.
Now it would, yeah. I
it
agree.
wouldn't be on
That's
a pop
true.
station.
And the Marshall Tucker, when I saw him, they opened up for Alabama, or Marshall Tucker Band. But
Yeah.
the original lead singer was with them. Everybody else was different.
Toy Caldwell.
I guess that's who. I don't remember the name, but
Yeah.
they do one of my favorite songs of all time. That Can't You See? I think it's one of the greatest songs.
You're
It
a
is.
big Jason Isbell guy, right?
Yeah, I do like him. Pretty
Yeah.
good. I
That
think
to me is kind of folk.
American
Folk, country, but American
But that's as
folkish.
close as you're gonna get today to Skinner and Marshall Tucker Band and all that.
Yeah. What's that guy that sings Springsteen? Chris
Stapleton?
No, not Chris Stapleton.
Bruce Springsteen,
No, the name of the song is
Springsteen.
Who sings that?
Jake Owen. Is that Jake Owen?
His sound is very southern rockish, bluesish, southern rockish American folk.
I do know
cannot think
him.
of his
but
name.
I don't
Once
listen to much
again,
new
just
stuff.
like Mustache. I mean, okay. Let's go back to
Mustaches.
the mustache.
The Moustache.
Where is the mustache today?
It's very
It pops up on Nick Wilson for like 6 weeks at a time, then it's gone.
it's
It doesn't
very
stay.
It's like a groundhog.
it's very
There's no defined style,
That killed the
Coach. Right
interns.
now, Coach, we had the angel wing hair, and it stayed a long time. And then we had beards in the early '80s. Remember that?
Well, now everything's
And it
mountain
stayed for a
man.
while.
It's not
Hey,
like
does
a
selling-
grizzly.
Yeah.
There's
It's like this
no-
whole mountain man beard thing, which
Okay,
is
maybe,
fine
but
if
that's
you can
part
grow
of
it. But
Now you've got the Duck Dynasty guys
Yeah.
growing beards. We don't
Ironically, a lot of them have shaved their face now.
And what about Selleck? Does he still have his mustache?
Selleck still got his
Still got
mustache.
his?
Yeah.
Does he?
care. Well,
Oh, Tom?
probably.
Yeah.
Oh, his is never
What
went
other
away.
Selleck do you know?
I didn't know what he was saying.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm talking
I
about
thought he
Jim
said like
Selleck
like
down
oh.
here in town.
Saban
Gee,
kept.
oh, okay.
Saban has kept the angel wing hairstyle kind of going. I mean,
Yeah.
he's parted down the middle. He stuck with it. Nothing wrong with it. I don't
Little
care.
thinner
It's
up
not
top
long.
now,
It's
though.
not long.
No, it's not long, but that's
it
his-
is a middle
If
part.
you go back and look at his pictures from mid '70s, it's pretty much.
See, my dad always kept that 50s like Elvis kind of like he always had the one part and everything's kind of flipped over to one side. Like I'm talking about high flip, and
Your
that's
dad
how
had that haircut in the style in 6th grade.
I wouldn't doubt that a bit.
He had those dark
Because
rim
before that,
glasses.
he
I
was probably bald headed at that point. Before that, because he
Well,
used to always
I- talk
about how he used to always.
He might have had a
roll
shave,
around
but
a
I remember
bald
one
head.
time he wore his hair because we rode the bus together.
Mm,
He had because there was still some of that going on, the hair tonics,
Right.
You know, where you put the tonic on there. That was left over from the 50s, maybe.
right.
And he had the comb, and it was all
It was
slicked
always.
back.
It didn't
slick
matter.
back.
Anytime he got out of the shower, he'd always have his hair combed that way, and it didn't matter. He never changed the hairstyle. Never. As long as I ever knew.
What's
him, he
your
never.
hairstyle? Yeah.
Well-
That's what I thought.
And that'll
haven't
be
brushed my
that
hair in
will be
25
with you
years.
for a long
Wing
time. And we settle into one usually. I know some people, and so I'm related to some. They chase the trends, and
Yeah.
they had the Duck Dynasty beards. Then they had the shaved
Shaved eyes.
prisoner look. Just shaved off. Well, written more like a wrestler. I mean, they wanted to look bulked up.
Right.
They went through that. Went through the perm era.
The
went
mullet.
through the beard area. I
What
mean,
about
the
the
regular
mullet?
beard area.
Let's talk about the mullet.
All right.
The mullet has made a resurgence.
No, okay, that's all it's done. There again, my point. If I can drive that thing a little closer home, where is it? Who do you know with the mullet right now? You don't.
Well, it
Sev-
made a resurgence. Now it's gone again.
Several of our
It was
football
certain-
players still have some.
Yeah.
It's like we
Can't
had
say her
all
name,
these
but-
different hairstyles, and we try to bring them back. You remember? Okay, Coach,
Morgan Wallen.
Yeah.
Mullet.
you were late '80s, high school. For a while, like early '90s, didn't the flat top try to get going again?
Well, I had one at one
Okay.
time. I tried to have
How long
one.
did you keep it?
Not long. It's hard to do. You think it'd be easy, but
Well, you got to gel it up. or
yeah,
whatever?
it's-
Okay.
I just shaved my head.
Okay,
now.
flat. Everybody's coming to me. Flat top's coming back. Oh, okay. Well, you see, like a couple of guys here had them, or a few, but it wasn't. It didn't encompass the entire, the majority of the guys,
Right.
And
Well, you couldn't have long hair when I was in school here. You
No, I
could,
know.
they'd
They-
take it back
they
there
had
and
a
cut it
facial
off.
hair policy.
You get sent home.
Yeah. It had to be the.
They were
in a
strict
heartbeat.
about it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
that-
our
it was the
principal
ball of
would
the
pull
neck,
our
right?
hair
That
down.
that still
That's how it
carried over
was.
when I was in school,
Yeah, me
like
too.
elementary and middle school. By the time I got to high school, it had kind of faded out.
Yeah.
Man, we're killing the interns right now.
It wasn't allowed, man. You couldn't. You had to be shaved. They'd make you shave in the office.
Yeah,
And
they. I remember one time the
remember we could
principal made a parent come up here and cut their kid's hair.
Yeah.
Either go home or cut their. And they were at
Yeah.
work and they're like, "I'm on my lunch break."
Now
and
we
they said, well, he's
had
gotta
a
get
dress
his hair cut.
code and we stuck to it
Yeah.
Yeah.
when I was in school.
well,
yeah.
was back to Leonard Skinner. The reason those guys quit school was because their
Their
PE
hair.
teacher's name was Leonard Skinner, and he demanded them to cut their hair, and they wouldn't cut their hair, and they quit school.
And I knew it was
And
named after their
named-
teacher, but I didn't know that was the reason.
I didn't know that.
I
That's
didn't,
the
I didn't
reason.
either.
Well, he was always on them about something anyway, but the hair was
Yeah.
one of the main things. With that long hair, he couldn't stand it.
Leonard Skinner. And then they
It's like
changed the
Leonard
spelling.
Skinner.
of it.
Then they altered, they
Yeah.
modified the spelling to
Yeah.
put the Y's in there and
Yeah.
put the D at the end of Skinner. They just added a D to the end of that.
Skinnered.
Skinnered.
Yeah.
And but while we're on that subject, it came full circle. They became friends with him after high school. They brought him to his concerts, and he grew his hair out. So
No way.
So see,
That's awesome.
we can come to some common ground.
That's great.
Can we all just get along?
So as we wrap this thing up, because
Oh,
it's getting time.
Time wrap.
It's getting
We're not
time.
finished with the 70s.
So, what are your recommendations?
We're only 273.
For what?
Just in general.
Groceries? Or
Well,
what? I mean,
should we start? Yeah, groceries. Should we start, Clint? Because we have a co-recommendation.
Well, hold on. You've listened to the podcast, right? You know we recommend something to the
Obviously, he hasn't listened to the whole podcast.
I guess not. I guess he gets to about
I did. You're
40
talking about movies, right?
Well,
Well,
whatever.
just whatever.
Usually it's movies.
Hey, I had
okay.
Lindenberg cheese for the first time ever.
Okay,
Go
all
and
right, I mean,
go and do that.
It's been a
What
while.
was the number one movie? Would it have been Smokey and the Bandit in the 70s?
In the 70s? For me?
Yeah. What was been your number one?
Yeah, absolutely.
77.
Yeah.
That's 77.
Yeah, I went to it. Saw it at the Pittman Theater in Gadsden. No, I'm sorry. I saw it at the Agricola.
Okay. Yeah.
That-
I remember
that
that.
theater.
I remember when I was over there.
Yeah.
I remember that theater. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't. I remember it being torn down.
What's our?
Well, I mean, you know,
What?
you got old.
Years later.
What's our recommendation, Clint?
Our
'Cause
recommendation.
we'll start it off.
Yeah, we'll start it off.
Go
Our
ahead.
recommendation is going to be a co-recommendation because I didn't really want to give it to Nick. Nick didn't want to give it to me, so we just decided to both do it. It's going to be the Spider-Man movie.
No Way Home.
No Way Home. It was that's the movie we went and saw last week.
Together.
We may or may not have held hands in Dark Movie Theater. Very good, very well written, very well rounded. Gosh almighty, man, it's got to be easily top 3 Marvel movies.
Huge emotional impact.
100%.
The first time I saw it, I did shed a tear.
A man tear.
I did.
A man tear.
I did. I shed.
Y'all don't
I've seen it
judge.
3 times.
You do not judge. You have
I've
seen it 3 times. My
I will
wife
see it a
is-
4th time before it leaves the theater.
There you go.
I will go see it again.
It has surpassed $1 billion as
As of
almost
2 days
all
ago, yesterday.
as almost all Spider-Man films have.
I think this one was the fastest to do it. Was it not?
I have no idea. You told me it reached $1 billion. I was like, okay, well, good for
No,
you.
Hammy did. I didn't tell you.
Same difference.
We look very different.
What are you talking about? That those movies are part of the what? Is it Marvel?
It's the Marvel universe.
Cinematic
And
universe.
there's 25 of those movies been made,
20-something, 28,
and
26.
everyone was moneymakers.
Everyone's been a moneymaker, yeah. But they've also got tons of animated shows out there now that do very well.
Television
You've got a ton of
shows.
television shows on Disney Plus that do well now. And I even mentioned to Nick as we were leaving the theater how they've just taken this whole entire thing and just here's this whole big ball of just entertainment. Go with it, and it's all been successful.
Yeah.
And they're starting to incorporate all the stuff. Murphy's over here shaking his head.
But here's what I like about it. Here's why it's a good recommendation. As a movie, it tells a story.
Right.
It tells a good story.
Yeah.
It tells a good story well, and it leaves you thinking about, or at least it left me, and I think it left you kind of thinking about your own place in life.
Oh, sure.
And that's kind of like the goal of the movie. At the end of the
Yeah.
day, that's the goal. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
I mean, the movie
wanna relate to it.
has a bit of a butterfly effect for me, and I don't know if a lot of people know what that is or have ever seen that movie. Is if one thing changed in your life, how would your life turn out different? If somebody didn't know you or somebody didn't do this one thing,
if you lost somebody,
if I lost, a parent at this age versus this age, or just whatever. I mean, it's one of those movies that kind of makes you think. I mean, and it's really relatable in that kind of sense. So it does a really good job. Looking,
Murphree has strong opinions. David has
Well, I
strong
would just
opinions.
rather watch Who's Harry Crumb. It's a new Spider-Man movie, if I could find it.
Is that your
I'll help you
recommendation?
find
No, 1 hour Martinizing is my recommendation.
What is that?
Oh, I didn't know what it was. So this week, do y'all know what that is?
I have no
Yeah, I
idea.
do.
The 1 hour Martinizing? Well, I was watching that David Letterman and my next guest needs no introduction or whatever. I was watching that. I was watching him and Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah.
They were on there, and I came to the conclusion those are my 2 favorite comedians. Robin Williams, I don't think he's funny, but he's not funny.
Agree.
What? He's not funny. No, what?
No.
Hey,
What?
Robin Williams, he's not. I don't think he's funny either.
Let me say, hold on a minute.
R.I.P.
Because I was watching
When-
comedy. There.
When he maybe a few of the movies, Miss Doubtfire, maybe I'll give would be the breaking point on that.
Really?
Well, yeah.
Wow.
Really?
Okay.
Why? Because he had a great sidekick, Sally Field, in there with him.
Yeah, but Sally Field was in the movie for like 10 minutes.
No, she was.
Yeah.
I never saw Miss Doubtfire. I never watched. I just don't like his. I've seen a few of his movies, like Patch Adams.
What I couldn't
think.
stand about him was when he would go on a talk show
Yeah,
and
I
just go Weirdville,
Yeah, I
and he
couldn't
could
keep up
not
with it.
make up sense what he's saying. He just
couldn't keep up with it. I'd have to pause it and then go check and look it up, what he just said, to understand it. I couldn't.
Wow.
See, you guys made a mistake bringing me on here with Coach because now y'all are outnumbered.
He's in.
Y'all
The same.
match your match,
We're tied now.
Now I haven't even watched Good Morning Vietnam because I just
What? Oh my God!
because I don't like his comedy. I don't get him. Now he was in the worst movie I've ever seen him. I like that. What Dreams May Come or What Dreams May Become. Terrible.
Watch this.
Awful.
Jonathan Winters is not funny either, is he?
He's funnier than Robin Williams. No, they were in TV. They were on that TV show together. Now I did watch Mork and Mindy.
Yeah.
Weren't they in there together?
They were.
Yeah.
I did watch that, but I mean, I would rather watch
That's his
Jonathan
breakthrough
Winters.
show.
Yeah, I would rather watch. I'd rather hear him than I had Robin Williams. But anyhow, I was watching Letterman and Seinfeld, which they're funny. I think they're funny. I understand them. And when I watched that show Seinfeld, they made a reference to 1 hour Martinizing.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what it was then. But then they were talking about it again the other day, and it was actually the modern dry cleaning.
Yeah.
Like years ago, when you took your stuff to a dry cleaner, the stuff that they used in the dry cleaning business was flammable. So they had to take that to an off-site location.
To dispose of it.
Well, they had because it was flammable.
To
I guess
process
the danger,
it there.
yeah, to do it and then bring it back to the store. And that's why it took so long. Then this guy named Martin come up with a new procedure to do dry cleaning that wasn't flammable chemicals, so you can now do it on site, and then you could actually have something done in 1 hour. And that's 1 hour Martinizing. I just learned that like yesterday.
Okay.
See, I didn't know that. I never knew that.
That's probably in the 70s when that happened. The
Yeah,
1 hour
it was.
So
Martinizing.
you recommend?
No, my recommendation is this movie called Operation Finale. That's my recommendation.
That is a good movie.
I've been wanting to give that one for a while. It's excellent. It's about the Israelis. 15 years after World War II, they finally caught Adolf Eichmann in Argentina. And it's about that. That's what it's
Mossad.
about. Huh?
Mossad.
Mossad. Is that the leader? Is that
That's
the
like the Israeli CIA.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mossad.
Mossad. Mossad. Mossad.
Now, there was a movie about them also going and that's Munich. That's about them going and killing all those people. Is that Mossad?
The Libyans. Was it the Libyans?
But Operation Finale, it's really good.
It's Iranians, wasn't it?
I think it was.
In Munich?
Yeah, you know, who
In Munich, I think it was.
that movie Munich, that's what that's about the Israelis going
In the
after.
70s? That was in the 70s.
That's 72, I think.
Yeah.
72.
Olympics.
It's the 72
Munich.
Olympics, yeah.
That movie Munich. But is that the same bunch that went after?
I believe
Hey, don't forget, you know, what was it? That airplane going from Greece to France stopped over
Oceanic 815.
and was taken all the way down to Uganda, and those Zionist those Zionist or anti-Zionist Arab terrorists. Do you remember this? That happened in Uganda under Idi Amin? No. And they went to the Entebbe airport, and the Israelis sent a commando squad down there to rescue all of them.
No,
This was like 76, 77.
I don't remember.
That also happened in the 70s.
Yeah, but Operation Finale, that's mine.
It's a good
I
movie.
told you the 70s is.
King of Scotland, great movie about Idi Amin.
You cannot visit the 70s in 1 hour. There's no way.
Well, TWA, you got to talk about TWA.
Yeah.
Is that all the
Pan Am?
hijackings and everything?
TWA Pan Am.
Was that 70s or was that may have been 80s?
Was
No,
Lockerbie in the
it
70s
was-
or was that the 80s?
No, that's later. I think that's 80s.
80s.
Right there. That's late
Look,
80s.
you can't
That
get.
may be.
Look, D.B. Cooper happened in the 70s.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
good
D.B.
stuff right
Cooper.
there.
That's a great subject. I love D.B. Cooper stuff.
And probably also the NASCAR driver
Dick Trickle.
that went disappeared.
Oh,
That's what I
the guy
do
that run
now.
a race at Talladega.
No, that's what Azo does too. That
I tell you.
Wait, what did he say about Azo? Dick Trickle.
no, you know that there's
That's
that
his
NASCAR.
name. That's his name.
You know that NASCAR driver that disappeared. He
Yeah,
run that one race at Talladega.
Yeah,
he
that's
would
right.
be the DB Cooper of NASCAR. That's
You know,
probably
there's always
72.
lost up. Talladega
Yeah.
is our home track.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's some of the most bizarre things that have ever happened at that track. You know, they said it was built on an Indian burial ground. You had the guy that ran the race, he got his money up, but then he just flat out disappeared.
Never saw him, yeah.
And nobody knows where he's at to this day.
Dick Trickle?
No.
Oh.
I done told you that's what Azo
look.
does to you.
Look, you can keep. I'm going to defend Dick Trickle. You can laugh all you want to his name, but that guy won like 1,000 short track races. And he replaced Bobby Allison when Bobby got sick.
Who was the guy that took his money and ran?
They can't find him. They don't.
I can't think of his name. I mean, he's not a household name. But he took the money and ran. He actually he bought a car from Sterling Marlin and wrote Sterling a check for like $17,000. It was a cheap ride. Of course, it was cheaper to get into NASCAR back then. This was in the 80s.
Yeah, I got a shirt with him on the shirt. I bought a shirt, but I can't
Then
remember
you got
his
the
name.
guy that stole the pace car from Birmingham, who's passed away now. You know, he kind of kept quiet. He drove the pace car.
Is it L.W. Wright?
That's
it,
him.
L.W.
That's
Wright,
him.
yeah.
That's
He's the D.B. Cooper of NASCAR.
D.B. Cooper of NASCAR. So you had a lot of bizarre happenings around Talladega.
What's your recommendation?
He's an unidentified American confidence trickster. In 1982, he posed as a stock car racing driver to compete in the Winston 500, a Talladega race at Talladega Superspeedway.
Yep. Now, personally, I don't see how in the world he got into that race and nobody knows who he is and how he even got out of the race without help, without pit help, without credentials. I mean, I had credentials to Talladega where I could roam anywhere except right on pit road. And it was hard for me to get that.
It seemed like Sterling come down and was his crew chief, maybe.
I think so. Yeah, he bought a car from him.
Yeah.
He did buy the car from him. You can read up on L.W. Wright. But that was okay. What is my recommendation?
What is your recommendation?
Okay, I'm going to tie mine back to Coach here to help him just a little bit.
Azo?
I'm going to who?
What?
Go ahead.
I'm going to help Coach. There is a movie on Netflix. It's not really a movie. It's a documentary about, and I can't tell you the exact name of it, but it's basically what happened to Blockbuster. Now it'll get on your
Is it
nerves
the
a
last
little bit.
Blockbuster?
Is it
name
about
of
the
it?
one in Bend,
Involves it.
Oregon?
It is. Have you seen it?
Yes, I've seen that. I
Okay.
love that.
Okay. Well, you say you love it. It was
Documentary.
annoying to me. I turned it off last night. I got to go back and watch the rest of it because they interviewed the girl that runs the Blockbuster. It
The
was
last
centered
one.
around her. But then they got another cast of characters.
Yeah.
And they go get a line. They film. This is where it would bug you. They film a line from him. Then they go to this one. Then they go to that one. Then they come back to this one. And then to this one. And I can't stand that.
But that's a documentary.
Yeah, but it's laid out wrong. It's all wrong.
It's not the greatest documentary in the world, but it is interesting
No.
because they do dive.
Okay, but here's why I recommend it.
Okay.
Well, do you know what happened to Blockbuster?
They went bankrupt. Well, they sold
Why?
the dish.
They did for a lot of $1 million,
A lot of $1 million.
like $390 or something.
Yeah.
maybe. But what else happened to them? What was the biggest mistake they made?
They tried to compete with Netflix with the DVD rental.
They did. But this is only after they turned down an opportunity to buy Netflix,
Yeah.
and then they tried to rectify their problems with no late fees. How do you do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but here's one thing I heard that's going to help Coach. The fact they closed down all these Blockbusters, a lot of these VHS, I don't want to say, if it's not vague, what is it? It's a not very popular movie would be called a what?
A dud.
An unpopular
Okay,
movie?
there's probably another word I'm putting. Anyway, she says a lot of them were lost because of that, because of the demise of Blockbuster.
Independent.
Yeah,
Independent movies, right?
They didn't get reproduced. They were lost.
B movies.
B movies.
Yeah.
Like, what's the movie you're looking for?
Who's Harry Crumb?
Yeah, that may be one of them. How big a movie was that? If it was a big movie, you can still find it. If it was not a big movie,
Well, it's on
it
Amazon
may have slipped through
Prime.
the
I was about to
crowd.
say, he can
It's
find
on
it.
Amazon Prime, but they won't. I got to pay for it on
gotta-
there, and
you gotta rent
I've
it.
got that service. Why do they charge you?
You got to
got
rent
to
it. You got to rent
Yeah,
it.
why?
Yeah.
I'm already paying for that
Because
service.
it's not on their free.
Well, I'm not paying for it.
I agree with you on that. A lot of this is
$2.99 on Vudu.
Does this have to end right now? Because
Yeah,
I can get on a rant real quick. Television is a pain in the butt.
It's
No
getting there.
doubt. Yeah, it is.
Because
That's why people aren't watching it
We
anymore.
cut the cord, or we threw the dish out, or whatever you want to call it. We're down to streaming now,
Right.
and so it's slower to watch something with streaming than it was just click, 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 and go to it on dish or direct,
Mhm.
right? Well, then you had the debacle last week, and I know this is a dated thing
With
here
the
we're dealing with. We
ESPN
had the
and
ESPN,
YouTube
where they
TV.
couldn't come to a contract agreement, so all of a sudden
Now, I didn't watch the
right
UAB
here
game.
before the
Bowl
bowl
season.
season
I
comes.
just switched to Hulu.
They take ESPN off of YouTube TV, right?
Mhm.
And where did it go?
Their own network.
Okay. Did you have to switch?
I just didn't watch anything for those 2 days.
Okay. But what was your plans? Wait and see?
Wait and see.
Well, a lot of people couldn't stand it. A lot of people. I watch this one particular guy that does. He has a sports deal on YouTube.
Mm.
So he has to stay current with everything.
Sure.
Part of his program is watching games and commenting on why it's happening. He has
Right.
a following. He has a group of subscribers.
Sure.
Well, he had to immediately jump to the other. What was it, Hulu?
Hulu, yeah, because Disney owns Hulu, and therefore all their programming
SEC
would be
Network.
And then what
ESPN.
happens 2 days later?
They jump back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It jumps back.
Yeah.
So what do you do then?
Well, if he got the 7 day, and that's where, like, if I was to the point, like, say the national championship game's on and I can't get it on YouTube TV, I probably would have got the 7 day free trial of the Hulu Plus or whatever it is, where you got the
Hulu
live,
Plus Live.
the live stuff. And if it would have fell within that 7 days, had I needed it, then I would have just canceled one, went back, or just made the switch.
Well, see-
altogether.
Okay, my recommendation.
Okay,
I'm
go
gonna wrap mine up.
Yeah.
And then you got it. Okay. Christmas on Thursday every year.
Same time.
Don't move when the time is, don't fall back in the fall. Okay.
Okay.
Leave it alone.
Those are more like wishes.
And bring back 3-channel television, Coach.
Yeah, like Elvis used to do it.
Yeah.
Like Elvis had his 3 TVs.
Well, no,
I
just
could- I
3
could do
channels.
that. Yeah, 3 channels. That's why he had
Just
3
channels.
TVs. So he
ABC,
could watch all of them at one
CBS,
time.
and NBC. That's it.
Yeah.
No more of this other. No more streaming. No more anything.
Just
if you
over
don't
the
get-
air free
Yeah.
TV.
What about Channel 21? No, we got to have that. Remember when that came
See,
in?
that's
You
where,
had 4
that's
of
where
them.
the trouble started.
You
Coach.
think that's what caused the
Yeah,
whole thing?
that's when it ran off the
I was
rails.
watching that night
It
when
ran
they
off
came
the
on the
freaking
air.
rails and ran.
Yeah.
A train took a dirt road.
So
okay?
WTTO's what did it, huh?
That was the start of it. If you think about it.
Yeah, but see, how many times do you get to watch, Auburn or Alabama football now versus back in the day?
That's what made it so special, man.
Yeah.
You weren't spoiled.
The
brat
Bear
like
Bryant
you are
show,
now.
that's what was so special about that.
Yeah. You got that TV coverage about every 6
Monday
years.
Night Football. It killed Monday Night Football.
No,
Oh, yeah,
when it went
too,
to
man.
when it went to ESPN,
No.
it killed Monday Night Football. When NBC came back with their Sunday Night Football, and they moved Monday Night Football off of ABC to ESPN. That's what killed, because they get the
Yep.
crappiest games now. They get the crappiest.
It was huge,
games.
man.
Yeah.
Monday Night Football.
Oh,
70's.
it was a big day.
WTTO came on, and what was their network? Mizlou.
No, look, I'll tell you what ruined it all. WKRP. Thank y'all for tuning in
Look at
to
him just
Lonnie
drop the
and
hammer.
this awesome season 5 premiere. Thank you, Mickey, for coming on. I appreciate it, man.
Finally.
Finally, it only took
I'm
5
not
seasons.
through with the 70s.
It only, if you want to continue to talk to Mickey about the 70s, he'll be on a street corner somewhere in downtown Asheville preaching the gospel about the 70s.
Or Birmingham.
Go,
By Boutwell. So,
go and talk to him there. Where else can they find you, Mickey?
Well, tomorrow you can find me at the Birmingham Bowl.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Bulldog TV. Don't you host Bulldog
I
TV
do,
on
I
Asheville
do.
Athletics on
Yeah,
Facebook?
when we start back.
Yeah. So if you want to check out more
22.
of Mickey, you can see him there. I'm sure Mickey will be back on the podcast at some point. But yeah, so this is season 5 premiere.
In 5 seasons, he'll be back.
Yeah, in 5 seasons he'll be
Talk
back.
about
I'll
the
promise
70s.
if you'll bring the 70s part 2 back, we'll come back.
Okay, all right.
And this time I'll have notes.
Okay, then that's exactly what we'll do.
Exactly.
We'll have the Crumb movie
The-
ready to go. Yeah,
we'll do a
I'll
Harry
find that.
Crumb. Who's Harry Crumb
Watch
along?
along.
classic, man.
Woo!
Classic.
All right, so don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, follow, all of that good stuff. We're on Facebook and Twitter, Talk or Go Home. Don't forget to follow us. Interact with us there.
Please.
The
Let
three
us
of
know
us,
what you want to see.
Absolutely. Just holler at us, DM us, message us, whatever, comment. The three of us will get back with you guys on all of that. Shout out to our associate producers over there, Jake Morton and Aaron Garvich, for today's episode. Guys, I think this is it. I think we're going to head on out.
Well, let's go. Who wants to go to Bill's Land?
So don't forget, you can talk
Or go home.
Go home.
Mommy, what are tinsel?
Would you do that? I don't even. Is that a thing? Where'd that come from? What does that mean?